In this episode, the August Sarasota Cars and Coffee, Klutch Kickers recap, and some active aero. Welcome to episode 106 of the We Are Auto Show. What's up, Derek?
Mr. Michael Rowell, it was the weekend where you go and you drink coffee, if you're you, and you look at cars.
It was. And I drank coffee and I looked at cars.
I looked at cars. Do you want to see what we looked at?
Yeah, let's take a look.
All right.
What was that? Sarasota Cars and Coffee of, what are we, August of 2022?
I believe it was August.
Dang.
Yes. So let's check it out real quick.
Yes.
Here, it was Porsche Day.
Yes. You know why?
Why?
Because they're celebrating Porsche's. It's almost like an event or a festival or a holiday, if you will, called Sports Car Together.
Oh?
Yep, Sports Car Together Fest or Sports Car Together Day.
Is that just Porsche is celebrating it across the
Yep.
U.S. or
Well,
just
across the world? Right.
Okay.
So it's essentially get together in your Porsches and your sports cars and enjoy sports cars together.
Okay.
That's the whole point of it. Come one, come all.
This is not the first time I've been to a Porsche-themed event at this Cars and Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
But there's only so many manufacturers to go through, so I guess we've circled back around.
Yes, but also this event is hosted by Suncoast Porsche. So it kind of would make some sense.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right. So right off the bat, we are in the Porsche featured section where you see a bunch of bums.
Many of them.
Yes, you see 996 bum, you see old air-cooled bum, you see 997 bum, you see 992 bum, you see 991 bum, oh my goodness, 981, 991.2, all of the generations.
So you see 9, insert number here, Porsche. Okay, cool.
And now you see the faces,
Mm-hmm.
996, 997, 991, and so on and so forth.
Droopy eggs.
Looks great, though. And then the car that I arrived in. I arrived with a buddy of mine in his Honda Civic Type R, painted in Boost Blue.
Boost Blue.
It's a great-looking car.
That is a fantastic color.
It's just so great to look at.
I like that color a lot.
Fun car to drive, too.
I'm sure it is.
And then we get to one of my favorites, the Porsche 911R, which did come out a couple of weeks ago, but it's still one of my top 10 for sure. Well, I just love that car to death.
It is neat.
Mm-hmm. Next to, now we have the Porsche 911 Turbo S Exclusive Series. They did not make a lot of them. I think it was only like 250 of them or something like that, maybe 500 of them. Not a lot of them. So most people will walk by that and like, wow, it's a gold Porsche. But if you know, you know.
Okay.
And yeah.
I don't know that this has ever been out there, has it?
No, it hasn't.
I didn't think so.
It's sick, though.
That is cool.
And then we move on to an engine with a car around it.
Yes. I had never seen the underside of a bonnet of a Viper, but whoa.
Yeah, a Dodge Viper.
Whoa.
And this was the Gen 1 Viper, I think?
I think so.
Either Gen 1 or Gen 2. I don't really remember. But either way, when we walked up, we all just kind of looked at it and were like, wow, that's just engine with car around it.
Yeah, they wrapped engine components on the back side of the wheel well. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, that is all sorts of components everywhere except for the middle of the engine, which is where all the pistons and all those bits are.
I guess when you have a V10 with like an 8-liter displacement or something, you just run out of places to put things.
Yeah.
So you just shove things wherever the hell you can fit them. I mean, it's just, we've got this giant engine and let's build a car around it.
And we still have a massive bonnet.
And I love it to death. I love the lunacy of the Viper.
It's pretty ridiculous, but it's cool.
Mm-hmm. How about some size comparison? An original Mini next to a Dodge Charger.
Yeah. Big difference.
Big and little.
Big and little.
You see me now oogling a beautifully restored air-cooled 911 that is RSR wide with the ducktail. And oh my God, that is one of my favorites there.
It is cool.
Oh, that car is so gorgeous. I love that car so much.
And it was pulling a trailer.
No. It looks like it's hitched, but it's not hitched to the trailer. No.
Oh.
Moving on to a Ferrari 360, where I looks like I'm thrusting it. Oh my God!
And that's because there's
It
a
has-
gated manual gearbox in it.
Yes. Oh,
Pretty sweet.
I love that.
Can't go wrong with that. They are very satisfying to shift.
Big fan of that.
And is that a dog leg or is he in reverse?
It's reverse.
Okay. All right.
Yes. But yes, that's the 360 mode now. Followed up by the slowest thing in the world.
Yes.
An old Fiat.
If you read what it says 18 horsepower. A 1972 Fiat 500.
18 horsepower.
18.
That is not a lot of horsepower.
That's no horsepower.
That's slow.
That's the CC measurement at that point.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. You just measure it by how many cc's does it have.
Right.
Which was 499 cc. It was a 500.
Right.
Oh my God, it's so small.
It is, but it's neat. And the owner was sitting there actually just enjoying people gawking at it, basically.
It's funny. We walked up and I was kind of giving it shit. I was like, wow, that's the slowest thing. He's like, hey, it's 18 horsepower. He's giving us a hard time. It's just, he gets it.
Yeah.
The whole point of that car is to go flat out at like 48 miles an hour.
And never touch 50.
Never. I don't think that car could. And then you compare it to the new Fiat 500.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's different.
Its big brother is big.
Way bigger, which is funny because it's a small car.
Right.
The Fiat 500, would you call it a big car?
No.
No. You compare it to the original Fiat 500. It
It's
looks
a big
like
car.
a boat.
It's a big car. Yeah. The size comparison's pretty crazy.
It's nuts. Oh, moving on to, which is now my third favorite car that we have scrolled through. The Ferrari 458 Speciale Aperta. Rare and now very expensive.
Aperta.
Means open top.
Ah.
So it's an open top version of the Ferrari 458 Speciale, which is the last naturally aspirated Ferrari.
Oh. That's money in the bank.
That's about $1 million car now.
A mil?
Those cars have appreciated.
They're only going up.
And that spec is maybe one of my favorites.
That's going to be like a $3 million car in a couple years.
Oh, that car, that is doing things to me. The silver with the red interior.
It works. It works very well.
That is a spec for me.
That's a good one.
Damn, I like that.
Ooh.
Move on to a very interesting car that has never been washed ever.
No, it hasn't. It probably should be. The interesting thing about this is the F1 spec.
Yeah. It's not the standard Vantage. It is the F1 edition.
Yeah.
Irritated by the badge and the wing and the wheels and the front lip and everything. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that wing tells me it's an F1 edition. It is an F1 edition.
That's cool. First time I've seen one.
Neat car. Rare. I don't remember how many they made, but not a lot of them. But
yeah.
Interesting car. And it's look how dirty this thing is.
It is very dirty.
An Aston Martin Vantage F1 edition that looks disgustingly dirty.
I'm not opposed to it, but it probably should have been washed before Cars and Coffee.
Okay, your Cars and Coffee. Wash your damn car.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we have here?
Well, sex is what we have here.
Okay. Now, come on now.
We have a 911 GT3 Touring in one of my favorite specs. Simple, clean, beautiful. Black.
That's the color name?
With, I believe that's actually jet black metallic.
It can't just be black.
Jet black metallic, I believe.
Of course.
And then you have silver wheels with the black center lug with the colored Porsche crest and the yellow Porsche carbon ceramic brakes with the lightweight carbon bucket seats. And the center crest is not pointed correctly. Incorrect. But look into the interior of the car. Look at those seats. Lightweight carbon bucket seats.
Yes.
Look at my face in the window as I'm... Ooh. So yes, I'm very happy with that car.
It's cool.
Love that car. It flies under the radar. Moving on to a Corvette. What's
With
special
racetracks.
about this?
racetracks.
Yes.
Now, I
What
can name
tracks are they?
3 of the 4. I don't know the top one. Do you happen to know the top one?
No.
Interesting.
So what tracks are they?
So we got Sebring on the bottom, Daytona above for that. Is that VIR or is that COTA? I can't remember. I think that might be COTA above Daytona. And then I don't know what that is above COTA.
Is that Roebling Road?
It might be. It's a smaller track. But I wouldn't doubt if he had taken this car to those.
I agree.
Yes.
And I hope he has.
Hope so too.
An interesting Subaru that the picture's a little out of focus. But for you and I, this was a very interesting car.
Yes.
Because its shift knob is a hockey stick.
Right. It was super cool. Yeah, it actually has a hockey stick, and it was an Easton.
Yes.
Some tape on the nub, or the butt of the stick, as it should be. And that's how that car should be, honestly.
Yeah, just rat it out like that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Just make it happen.
Super cool. Old hockey stick, cut it up, put it as the shift knob, have fun.
Yep.
And it's a Subaru.
Love that. And then some old BMWs. I don't know them all very well, but we have the original M5, and then I think a 2002, and then a 630. No, a 3-liter CS, I believe.
The reason I took this picture is because some of them open from the front and some of them open from the back.
I think that's because the 2 that open from the back to the front are much older. Much older than the original M5.
So hoods used to open the other way.
That's my thought process there, but I don't know.
Interesting.
Then the MC20, right? Just in black, right? Nice, but I bet you the guy that's next to it is a Corvette owner.
You're probably right. He's got the New Balances. He's got the khaki shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But I will say this car still doesn't look as good as it does in other colors. It
needs to be in blue or red.
Yeah. Or gray was even way better.
Yeah.
It just black doesn't do it for this car.
It's fine. It just needs more.
Yeah, it does need more. You can't really see the shapes as well.
So this row of the hot rods and muscle cars here. So this first one, which is, what is it? I don't even know what it is, but
I don't know.
The funny thing is that these guys come out to Cars and Coffee every month, and every single time they're there, they're always tinkering and mending it.
Every time.
Every single time we're there, we walk by, and it seems like it's broken.
I mean, when you're at that age, why not just tinker with it all the time?
I agree, but my worry is that they fix it just enough to get to the destination, and then it dies. And then they have to fix it just enough to get them home.
That's half the fun of having that car for him.
True.
Knowing it inside and out, upside down, backwards, forwards, every which way.
True.
And being able to fix it with a pair of tweezers and a rubber band on the side of the road.
That's true. I love it. It's cool. But I just laugh that they're tinkering with it every single time. The hood is always up. They're always underneath it doing something.
Yeah, good for that.
There's that Subaru with a hockey stick. Yes.
Yeah,
and then
you can see the hockey stick in the...
You can, a little bit, yeah.
And it's perfectly beat up enough to know that it's the daily, and they have fun with it.
Absolutely.
They have a ton of fun with it.
What do we got next? Ooh, the 911 Targa 4S Heritage Edition. They only made 992 of them.
Oh.
With the livery, the roundel, and all that. Really, I love those wheels. I really, really love this car.
So did they park it with the glass up?
They did that intentionally so you could see it. Yep.
Interesting.
Yep, it's Targa.
No, not anymore. Now it's a cabriolet.
No, it's Targa. It still has a Targa hoop.
Yeah.
It's a silver hoop.
But
That's
it's
Targa.
topless.
No, it's not topless.
The top's not on it. It's off.
Funny guy. Funny guy.
Let's move on.
Funny guy. Yes, let's move on to this old Beetle that had some cool patina that was clear-coated over it.
I think this is really cool.
That's sick.
There's a way to do patina correctly, and when you caught the sunlight correctly in this car, it really worked. This photo doesn't really do it justice. You can't really see the shine of the clear coat. But it was super cool in person to see the clear coat shining over top of all the rust and all the grime and the dirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love that.
This was well done.
Then the EQS AMG, which I don't know much about it. I still don't like the look of it. It looks like a fish, but it's rare.
So you saw this and you ran away and said, ew, ugly. And I was like, whoa, that's cool. I'm going to take a bunch of photos of that. Sure enough, this is one of 2 in the whole country.
No, I think in the state.
Oh, in the state? Okay. It's one of 2 in the state. And it's the AMG, which is rare.
Rare and fast. I think it's like, I don't know, almost 1,000 horsepower or something, or 800 horsepower.
I'm sure 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds.
Yeah. Stupid fast.
Right. I think it looks pretty neat. It is the rounded aerodynamic bulbous shape, though.
It looks like a fish.
I get the fit fish. Yeah, I get it.
I don't like it. I don't want a fish car.
I get the fish vibe.
I don't want a fish car.
I don't blame you, but aero, power, weight, anyway.
It's bulbous.
It is bulbous. Does have a lighting plate, though.
Yes, good on them.
Yes.
Hey, a Porsche 356.
Now, I immediately asked you, is this the Speedster, right?
The 356, this is correct.
Yes. So, is this real or not?
Yes.
And apparently there's one way to find out.
One way
quick
is the pedal assembly. If it hinges from the bottom, correct. If it hinges from the top, incorrect.
This one hinges from the bottom.
Yep.
So it's correct.
That is correct.
And that's how you know.
That's one of the ways. Yep.
Neat.
It's definitely cool, though, isn't it?
Yeah. How much are these going for?
Few 100,000.
Okay. So we're not talking multi-million.
Not usually multi-million, but
Okay.
a few 100,000. Really cool. And then a Testarossa with a flying mirror.
Yeah, this was really cool.
How sick is that?
So it was like off to the side, too.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't often see Testarossas. When you do, they're neat, but I don't think you see the flying mirror at all.
Correct. I believe the flying mirror was only available in 1 year. I don't know which one that is, but the flying mirror is the side view mirror that's attached from like the middle of the pillar.
Really weird, actually.
It's cool.
It is neat. And the other side just doesn't have a mirror?
You don't need one. The first rule of Italian driving, what's behind you does not matter.
I guess so.
Actually, I can't even tell. Does it have a rear view mirror?
I don't know. I don't think that the other.
Know if it. I can't even see.
I don't know.
Like, I was looking in the window. I can't even see if it has a rear view mirror.
I did specifically look to see if there was a side mirror on the passenger side.
No, it does have a mirror.
Yeah, it does. And I didn't see one.
It does not have one on the passenger side. No,
it's just gone. I didn't think that was road legal.
No, you can have 2 mirrors.
Really?
Yep.
That's a thing?
Yep. As long as you have a minimum of 2.
Oh, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, could you put 2 in the interior and just call it that?
Possibly.
Whoa.
I'm sure you could plead your case.
Today I learned. That's neat.
And then as we were leaving, we walked out and there was a Geek Squad sandwich of a McLaren and a Ferrari.
Yeah.
They were hiding between 2 work vans, a McLaren 720S and a Ferrari F12, both heavily modified.
Heavily modified.
Yes. Love those cars.
Cool cars, but very hidden. Very hidden.
I had no idea those were there.
No. You had to walk past them.
Mm-hmm. What's next? A matte purple McLaren 720S. I do like the matte purple. Does the matte purple work for you?
I think it works with the yellow calipers.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it had some yellow trim in the interior. I think it does work.
I think the purple and yellow works. Yep.
You're screaming, I want to be the center of attention, though.
I think it works on that car.
I do think it works, yes.
On that car it works. And then we go to another really cool Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
A Porsche that is very track spec. It is a Cayman GT4, but it's a GT4 with all of the extra Club Sport goodies. It's not a real Club Sport because that's a track-only car. This is an actual GT4 that's got track day accessories, but it's a GT4 that's got RSNV wing risers. It's got a gurney flap on the back. It's got front canards. It's got forged monoblock wheels. I think they're forged lines. It's got the tow hook. It's got roll bar. It's got lightweight bucket seats. It's got everything, and it's a manual transmission. And it's maybe the best like track day fun Porsche you're gonna buy.
Yeah, I saw this and immediately went, okay, that's a go fast car.
Yep.
That's a go fast track car.
Yeah, for like the track day guys, we immediately looked at it and was like, oh, yeah, that's the one. There it is. I love that car.
Super cool.
Mm-hmm. And then an original Evo. And I think it's either an Evo 1 or like an Evo 3, but it's really, really cool.
It is neat.
I like that car. And then we move on to the star of the show,
Yes.
which I may call my spot of the week, even though it's not really spotting if it's at the car show. But it's very interesting, which is the first time I've ever seen this car, which is a McLaren Senna.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
In a
Tiffany blue.
Tiffany?
Yep, that's what it's
you
called.
call it?
Yep.
That's cool. It is wild.
Oh, my.
A lot of aero.
A ton of aero. It's just aero.
It is.
Every single piece of that car is designed to funnel air.
Yeah. So much so that there's even like plexiglass in the doors.
Yeah, so you
that
can
you can
see
look
the
through.
apex of the corner as you pass.
Yeah.
it.
It's just a track day car.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, you can see all sorts of really weird, crazy aero fins and stuff. Like, I was getting down underneath it, kind of looking like, okay, where does the air go from here? Because you can kind of see where they're channeling air to.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have a gurney flap, but it doesn't
Nope.
need them because it's got active aero.
Yeah.
So the whole wing will lift up and down.
This car is crazy.
It's nuts. I've never seen a Senna before.
Is it the most expensive car at the show?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. You know what? Let me do a quick Google. How much does a McLaren Senna cost?
I don't know, but this is new and crazy aero. Oh, man.
Oh! Oh!
How much?
Starting at $1 million.
Okay. Jeez. And it wasn't even like parked in the main part of the event. It was just kind of thrown in there.
Yeah.
Wild.
Damn. Is this actually the one I'm looking at here? Oh, no. Wrong color. But
I'm not super surprised that we saw it around us. It's just one of those cars that you know one will show up eventually.
mm-hmm. It's crazy.
And it didn't take long.
It's nuts.
Because I remember talking about this car on the news, and it did not take long to show up at a Cars and Coffee.
Mm-hmm. It is cool, though. I've never seen a Senna, and it is just a freaking cool car.
Aero machine.
But it's not my favorite McLaren. I prefer the P1 over it.
That's a bold.
P1
Yeah, I get
the
that.
P1 looks prettier.
Yeah, I get that.
This looks more functional, but the P1
Mhm.
looks prettier.
This would eat you up at a racetrack.
Yes.
But the P1 is just a machine.
I feel like this is too much
It is.
aero to be usable because I'd be too scared to go fast enough to use the aero to allow the grip to keep me to not crash it. But I'm never going to be able to go fast enough to do that. So I'm going to go just not quite fast enough for the aero to work, which means I'm going to go too fast, but not fast enough.
The F1 problem.
Yes, and bin it. Yep.
You have to be going fast enough to make the aero work,
Yes.
or else you have no grip.
And then you are in the wall.
Yes.
But that's possibly the star of the show. Maybe even my spot of the week.
That is cool. Have you spotted anything else?
I did. Did you do any other cool events, though?
Oh, I did.
Yeah.
Yes. So I happened to be out at a drift event at the Freedom Factory, which was pretty cool to go to. My wife actually had a family member that was out there doing some drifting.
Cool.
And there's one car in this photo, and he was doing the radio comms for this car as they were drifting.
Sweet.
Which was super cool. And I got to meet the driver, Will, and he was a neat dude. Out there were some serious cars. This is known as clutch kickers, and this was out at the Freedom Factory, or DeSoto Speedway is what it used to be called, before Cletus McFarland bought it. And they were doing full-on drifting. This is an open spec event, which I didn't know this. I learned about this. Apparently, FD has a ratio of horsepower to rear wheel size.
Oh.
Which means it's not an open event or open class, basically.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
This is open class. You can have as much horsepower and as much rear wheel width as you want.
Huh.
Yeah. And apparently the more rear wheel width and the more horsepower you have, the faster you can slide the car through a drift.
Interesting.
Yes. So there's some limitations there in FD, not in clutch kickers, which is kind of neat and something I learned.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
No, I didn't know that either. I learned a lot about drifting. There were some other cars there. There were as many 240 SXs as the eye could see, because that is the traditional drift car. I believe that this is another FD car right here.
Yeah, and
which
that
is
looks
really
like
cool.
it's 240 with a Nissan Silvia front bumper. And that is a
Cool.
Silvia S14 front bumper, I believe.
Don't know, but I can tell you every one of these cars from the ground up is a drift car. I do not believe that they're street legal at this point.
All of the horsepower, all of the steering angle.
All of the suspension tuning and modifications. I took a look at the rear of this car. It had 2 batteries mounted side by side because they want to have enough charge to be able to supply the motor when they do their runs with enough juice. And it's like crazy what they do to these cars.
Dang.
It's way different than what you would normally do to like any track day car.
Dang.
They're specific to drifting. Super cool. Also saw a bunch of Corvettes. And that got me thinking, why Corvettes?
Because they're rear-wheel drive, and if you put enough horsepower in it, then I guess you're good.
I guess so. It doesn't seem like this car is set up to me good for drifting. A 240, it looks like it's a drift car. Right? Yeah. The wheelbase, the style of the car, it just looks like it would slide well. Corvettes in my head, they don't slide well.
I could see it.
I struggled to see it. But then you watch one slide around the banking at the Freedom Factory, and you're like, oh, yeah, they slide great.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a neat event. Hoping to have somebody on soon for an interview to talk about drifting because I learned a lot.
I would love to learn more.
Yeah, it was neat stuff.
For sure. So, yeah, now let's get into our spots. Sound good?
Let's do it.
So I'll go first. My spots, honorable mention there, that McLaren Senna. I did see a random Ferrari 812 Superfast.
Oh?
That was not garage kept. It was just parked in the driveway. And I've driven past it now 5 days in a row.
Oh, boy.
It's just like they're bumming around car. And it had a license plate on it that said BITCO, so Bitco. Wonder if they got that from Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Makes sense. But it's just bumming around in the garage, like, or not in the garage, just on the driveway. Like, what's the point in it?
Right, just chilling.
And then I saw, in the same day, 2 of the most very different cars you can imagine.
What were those?
I saw a Ford Model T.
And
then later in the day, I saw the newest version of the Fisker Karma, which I think is the Karma GS6, whatever it is. Which is the electric generator hybrid thing.
Yeah. That's a weird one.
So 2 very different, rare things.
Very. Ford Model T is neat. You do see those sometimes.
Every once in a while.
And the Fisker is just an odd car. That's a weird car.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw those 2 back to back. I was like, what? That's very different.
That is very different.
So those are my spots. Did you happen to spot anything?
I did. I happened to spot a black Aston Martin Vantage, which is pretty neat. Saw as many 240 SXs as the eye could see.
At Klutch Kickers.
Ton of them. Also drift Corvettes. But I would have to say that black Aston Martin is going to be my car spot. It was in the grocery store. They were snagging up some groceries, and I would call that a great grocery getter.
That'd be amazing.
Yes.
I love that. So let's move on to the I wish they would have then, shall we?
All right.
Do you have an I wish they would have?
I do. So while I was at Klutch Kickers, they were drifting on the bank. And the bank at the Freedom Factory was more banked than I thought it was. I had seen it in like YouTube videos. But when you're there, you're like, whoa, it's very banked. I would guess 20, 25 degrees or something.
Oh, wow. So like proper banking.
Yeah, which when you stand on that, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't sound like a lot when you put it in terms of degrees, but when you stand on something like that, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's banked. So I wish that there were more corners around us that were banked that I could take the BRZ out on.
And slide it?
Yes. In the rain.
Yes. So funny you mentioned that. There's 2 corners that are slightly banked.
Around us?
Yeah. I'll have to show you.
Okay.
I'll have to show you. Especially when it's raining.
Yes. That's ideal conditions.
I like that. I wish it would have.
What do you got?
Wish we had more good roads. But my I wish it would have is that I wish motorsports, just in general, were more mainstream.
Oh boy. For some reason, they are and they aren't, right? They are in the fact that everybody knows what NASCAR is. They aren't in the fact that if you talk to anyone else, They don't know what IMSA is. They might not know what IndyCar is. They might not. But if they do, they probably don't know it well enough to tell you, other than the Indy 500, what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all missing out on the Ferrari Challenge, the MX-5 Cup, the Stadium Super Trucks, the USF 2000s, all the good support series.
Yep.
They're so underrated for how good the racing is.
Yeah. I wish people knew about all the other racing other than NASCAR.
Right.
So that's I wish they would have.
You can go watch it on our website.
Yes. What's that website?
weareauto.io.
There it is. Go check it out. Go watch all the cool racing. So that's all I got for you. You got anything else?
I do not.
All right. Well, thanks so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave us a thumbs up and a comment on the video. Let us know, would you drive a Corvette in a drift event? Because I'm curious. And if you're on audio, leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Platform of choice. Don't forget to follow us on social. We're on there too. Facebook is We Are Auto. Instagram is We Are Auto _. YouTube is We Are Auto. And our website is weareauto.io. So thanks again. Catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.